Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
New year, new mic.
Oh yeah, it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. We're now sharing one mic instead of using two, and this one's on a table. So don't kick the table.
But I like to kick the table.
This year we played a lot of games.
Indeed, this year I did play a lot of games. In fact, I might actually say that I played the most games of any year.
Of any year might be a little bold.
No, it's
in recent memory, maybe.
It's recent. It's reasonably bold considering I'm Mr. Call of Duty who plays one game for 6 months and then maybe like 3 others. Even when I was a kid, I don't think I deliberately just went through this many games this quickly. I stuck with something and I'd play it for months. And so yes, definitively, this is the year I've played the most games, probably.
All right. Well, I'll let you start it off then.
Okay. This is not my list. My number 10... my number 10 is Hue.
Hue.
Hue is a lovely little puzzle game where it's got one of those neat little gimmicks that the whole game is based around, and that is that you can change the color of your environment to do puzzles. So, maybe there's something you don't see because the background is in one color. You change the color, now you can see this object that you can move. And that's how the game functions. It's really cool. I bought this game completely on a whim. I just kind of saw it in a sale. Actually, it wasn't even on sale. I think it's $15 for the game in general. I saw it and I just thought, yeah, okay. I feel like playing this game, and it was fun.
Nice.
I beat it in like 2 days. But, it was definitely worth the $15 I paid for it. It was really fun. It's got a cute little story. Very cute aesthetic also, because you're kind of like Limbo Kid, except, you're just, instead of just being Limbo Kid, it's, a nice, colorful world with lots of boulders and spike traps and things that kill little children. But
kill children.
Sometimes you change the color and, it's gone.
Okay.
And that's the great thing about the game. It's really cool, really nice thing.
Yeah, like I picked it up recently, but I haven't gotten around to playing it. Because like I said, I didn't really say it, but I've played a lot of games. But I can imagine after seeing what it looks like now, I'll probably play it in the next year, and maybe we'll be talking about this again.
Oh yeah, which is what always happens. Did this game become free?
Yeah, it did.
Damn it. Every time. Game becomes free at the end of the year. I bought it like 6 months before it became free. That is my claim to fame. I'm so good at this, buying games that will eventually become free. Great little game.
Nice, excellent. My number 10, starting it off strong, because every game I played this year, well, not every game, but I played a lot of very, very, very good games. So my number 10 is Horizon Zero Dawn. I like this game a lot more than I thought I would. Everybody on the internet was basically anticipating it to be sort of another kind of soulless Ubisoft game where you're going around and you're clearing areas, but you don't really care, and it's just kind of boring. But that didn't happen with this game. I really liked it a lot because the story, it is essentially 2 stories. You got the story you're discovering, and then the story that's playing out in the present. And I was really, really impressed with the story that you discover as you play the game. The story in the present day I was a little less enthralled with.
Yeah, the tribal stuff.
It's like okay, I get that, but it did lead to some nice moments. Like at some point, the protagonist, she's really into the past story and trying to figure it out, and everybody else is still stuck in the present and trying to make sense of all these things with spirits and gods and goddesses and stuff like that, and the protagonist is just over it
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I am too. But I like the combat. It felt a little slow at first, but I think it grew on me. And it was one of those games where usually I can see myself finding one weapon that I like and just sticking with it forever. But with the trials, I actually found a decent use for a lot of the weapons, and they were all fairly different. So I never really just stuck with the bow and arrow, like the normal one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that a lot.
And I mean, that came a lot with like the variety of the monsters.
Yeah,
Or not the monsters,
yeah.
but the robots you were fighting. Because I mean, sometimes you'd have a sharpshoot bow and it'd be perfect because it would take the thing out in one hit.
Uh-huh.
But then what are you gonna do when you've got an invisible thing that lays down alert traps? Like, no, you have to have something else. You have to have these plans. You get every weapon and then you switch them out just to find what. I mean, it is in part the stuff you like, but at the same time, I did find myself jumping around weapons all the time because they're different.
I also liked, I only ever played it on normal, and that was fine.
Yeah.
But I thought it had a really good balance because, by the end, you did feel like, you have, like, however many health bars, and you have all this stuff saved up, and so you do feel powerful, but you still feel vulnerable. Like, you still take, like, one hit, and you could see a large chunk of your health kind of, disappearing from that. And so, you never, the enemies still remained to be a threat, which was good, because I feel like it would have lessened the story a bit if you could just solo plow through everything. So,
which is actually what happened when I played the game, because me and sandboxes, I like sandboxes. I like to do all of the random stuff. And it was funny because Rowan was saying, you need to play the story because you're going to get too good. I didn't actually get that good. That's what was good about it. Yeah. Even though you're like level, because they have levels on the quest. Uh-huh. Like I'd be a level 32, and then I would go and do a quest that was level 10. And it was kind of easy, but at the same time, you couldn't just be irresponsible with whatever you did. Like the whole time, it's like you have to be on your toes and you have to try. It was never really easy. Difficulty was really good in the game.
So I thought, I just think it was. It really kind of exceeded my expectations, and so I really enjoyed it.
I can actually agree to that, because I had no interest in playing this game until you guys told me to play it, so I did.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, you're up.
My number 9. Whoa. Weird. I just realized I didn't put something on here, and I was like, huh. But it's okay. It'll be fine. My number 9 was a game we played very, very early on at the beginning of this year, and we learned that it was actually really fun. I know your excitement is misguided, but
no,
I'm sorry, man. That's not what it is. My number 9 is TKO.
Aww.
TKO came on which Jack party? 3. It came on the 3rd Jackbox party pack, and it is a game. It is one of those cool, you play it on your phone games where you draw. Now, I'm bad at drawing, but in addition, you get to make random off-the-cuff slogans, and then you match a drawing to a slogan, and then you pick your t-shirt. And man, this game is so much fun.
Yeah.
And I remember we just said once we were going to try it. And it starts out really slow. You're like, okay, so I'm drawing like 15 things, and because then like the people end up making the shirts out of all of the drawings and slogans they get. They can make the best possible shirt. Yeah,
you got to pick the best combination that you're given.
And that's what's great, because you start in it slow, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh wow, this is crazy hilarious.
Yeah, it's definitely probably the slowest burning of the Jackbox games that we've really enjoyed, because it does have to have all that set up to make like 5 drawings or something, and then 5 slogans, and then everybody matches them up. So there's a lot of time where there's no like laughter or anything. Everybody's just kind of focused, and when everybody's drunk, you kind of like, okay, come on, keep going, we gotta push through this. But then when you get to the payoff, it's so good.
Yeah, I think it's the highest payoff Jackbox game. Just because there's so much build-up waiting to see what everybody has put together for t-shirts. And then it happens, and I think there was one time, and I don't remember, it was probably your birthday, where shirt after shirt after shirt was perfect.
It was so good. It was incredible, and it's tough because sometimes you try and get other people to play this game or play Jackbox games, and it's like, it's not. If it doesn't pay off immediately, people kind of lose interest. But I think this one was really, really well done, and I also really like the aesthetic. I think the animations that it has, while you're going is really well done.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about Jackbox games too. Like all this stuff has these neat aesthetics that you wouldn't expect. Like Fibbage 3 just came out with the newest Jackbox. And it's got this cool, laid-back 70s aesthetic for no reason.
Yeah.
When they easily could have just made it the same as they always have, but they decided, no, I'll make it different. And it's really good. Cookie Masterson
it works out really well.
Might honestly be the best he's been.
Yeah, he's funny in this one.
Yeah,
it's weird.
He's brought it back. I don't know. Everybody's so hard on Cookie Masterson, but I really like Cookie Masterson.
Yeah, I never hated him. I've always been moderate to good about him. But in this one, he actually, he says the first joke that's pretty good, and everybody's like, wait a minute, we're not used to this being funny. Was that a fluke? And then the next one goes, it's like, oh, that's pretty good.
I mean, we always used to just talk over Cookie.
Oh,
so, yeah. That was a nice expectation. So, TKO. It is a
TKO.
Very fun game. Maybe someday I'll... Well, actually, I did share it on Twitter, the shirt. I was the number 2 Bulk Noise fan, and it's just a lady getting stabbed to death. Maybe I'll pull up a picture. I really love that shirt.
It's good. It's real good. Okay. So, my number 9 comes with a short preface. So, I'm a huge fan of competitive Melee. And so, there is a group of people that have made this hack pack called 20XX, where it helps you practice tech skill, and it bans certain stages for you, and it sets it to 8 minutes, 4 stocks, everything, so you don't have to set it. So somebody made a tournament edition of that, which was theoretically to be played within tournaments and stuff like that. And this is really, really precise stuff, deep technical stuff, not only within Melee, but also in assembly code or something way deep down there. And so Dan Salvato, announces that he has a dev team and he's going to release a game in a week. I'm like, oh my god, this is incredible, what could it be? And so he announces it, and my number 9 is DokiDoki Literature Club. Huh. So it is not what I expected to come from Dan Salvato, because it is a Japanese dating sim. If you have any interest at all, or even if you don't, you need to play this game. It's one of those games where it's a slight spoiler by saying you have to go in without knowing anything. Obviously, you start the game up, you go to the Steam page, and you're like, okay, this is weird. You see the trailer for it, and it's these 4 anime girls. They're kind of like, oh, look at our literature club. You see 20,000 ratings, overwhelmingly positive. You see the tags, visual novel, dating sim, psychological horror. And I'm like, what? You start the game up, and it says, this game is not for children or those who are easily disturbed. And I'm like, what? So, based off of that alone, if you think that interests you, and this is a free game, this was released for free, and it's one of those things where it probably wouldn't have been as successful as it was if it wasn't free, because how are you going to sell people on something that they can't know what it is, right? So, yeah, no, I think this game does some stuff that, A, this game would not work in any other medium, it only works as a game, and B, it does some things that no games have ever done that I've seen. I know some games have done stuff similar to it, and obviously it takes a lot of inspiration, but I think the way that it's told, and, just how it all plays out is so incredibly unique, and the things that you have to do are you don't expect that would be something for a video game, let alone a Japanese dating visual novel. So I think it's absolutely fantastic, and everybody that I've recommended it to who's also played it or seen it also has enjoyed it as well, which is great because at first I was a little let down. I was like, wow, this guy who did this melee hack is going to make a game. It's probably got like crazy, gameplay, and it's like you got to be super precise and technical, and it's like the exact opposite. So yeah, all about it. DokiDoki Literature Club is super, super good, and it's free on Steam. So go check it out. You want to check it out? You can use my computer.
Oh, I was gonna say I finally have a computer that's reasonable. I might be able
That's true.
to use it.
That's true.
To play it on my computer. So it sounds great.
Yeah.
Everything you recommend always makes the next year. So speaking of, no, not really. So my number 8. I really like where we're from.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Little cool town, middle of Ohio. Really cool place. My number 8 is The Walking Dead Season 3.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I have seen enough mixed reviews about Walking Dead Season 3 that I'm just confused. You know what? I thought this was better than Season 2.
Uh-huh.
It was not as good as Season 1. But Season 3 was great. Honestly, it's been a very, very long time since I played it, and I played it through once. And unfortunately, it was a little buggy when it came out, because I got it before they were done releasing episodes.
Oh, okay. You actually got this one as it was releasing.
Yeah. What happened was I bought it, and 4 episodes were out.
Uh-huh.
I beat all 4 of the first episodes, and I had to wait a day for the 5th episode.
Wow.
Yeah, it was one of those cool timing things. But yeah, I personally really liked the characters. I liked the main... Man, this is bad. I have not played this game in a long time. I don't remember any of the characters' names. But the main guy, I really liked him as a lead. Mm-hmm. He was no Season 1 guy.
Lee.
He was no Lee. Lee was, perfect.
Lee was really good.
And, yeah. I'm sorry. I was trying to think about not doing spoilers. Was the idea, because that's the whole purpose of this game. And I know that we've been talking about how Telltale games have started to, waver in their quality. Heard enough bad things about Game of Thrones. Heard enough mediocre things about Batman.
Don't forget Minecraft.
I've heard
story mode. And I think most recently they're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy episodic as well.
Yeah, I think they did do that. I've heard nothing about them. Tales from the Borderlands was amazing.
Yeah.
And, I mean... This is good. I wouldn't say it's as good as Tales. I wouldn't say it's as good as Season 1. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I haven't played Wolf Among Us. I've heard it's really good. I'll probably play that at some point.
You just gonna have one Telltale game on every year?
Have I done that?
Meet your quota? I don't think so.
Yeah, I was going to say... Well, okay.
You got Tales last year.
Tales last year. 2 years ago, I had Walking Dead Season 1.
The first year when you never knew.
When I never knew anything, and then you put it on a list.
Yeah, to be fair, it was on my list.
Yeah. So I actually managed to continue these games, and you just quit.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't handle Season 2. But, yes, Season 3 is really good. I like it. I like the characters. I like... some of the decisions you have to make are hard, and that's what I like in these games. I don't like it when it's obviously, I'm going to choose this, because... No duh.
Then what's the point? Yeah.
Yeah, what's the point if all the decisions are easy?
Yeah.
They're not easy, You got... It's just a quality Telltale game. Mm-hmm. And,
It takes place in good old where we live.
Where we live for probably, the first half of the first episode, and then they leave.
Yeah.
But that is where Season 2 ends, and Season 3 starts. And that's why this game's... No. It really is a good game. I'm sorry I don't remember anything about it, because it was so long ago. But it was good enough that I put it on this list, because it really was an enjoyable experience. Number 8, Walking Dead, A New Frontier.
Nice.
That is the name of Season 3. At least I'm pretty sure that is. I'm going to look. Yes, it is.
All right. So my number 8, it's been a good year for me in terms of niche things that are I don't want to say made for me to enjoy, but things that don't have huge mass appeal that really, really align with what I like. So I really like skateboarding games. I really like skateboarding video games. There hasn't been a good one in many years. So you gotta do with what you got. My number 8 is Steep. It's snowboarding and skiing, and you're in a mountain, and it's not skate, but it's the closest thing to skate that there's been.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's it's not, people are like, oh, I was hoping it was going to be like SSX, and it's not that arcadey. It's still pretty arcadey, but it has a lot of, it tries to be, not that like SSX or Cool Borders or whatever was necessarily disrespectful to skiing or snowboarding or stuff like that, but I think it tries to go for a little bit more realism. It does a lot with immersion, where you only load one series of mountains at a time, and if you want to start back at the top, you go to the map, and then you drop your spot, and then boom, you're there. No loading, you're just there. The camera drops down, and you're there, and you get on your board, and you go down, you ride for 5 to 10 minutes at a time, and then you go back to where you started, or you try one of the however many little challenges there are. There's the race challenges, there's the trick challenges, and there's the stupid challenges that nobody likes. But it's a lot of fun, and I like that Ubisoft is trying these new-ish weird things, but putting a huge budget behind it, because it's like something like this could maybe, I don't know that it could exist without a AAA budget, at this level of detail. You fall and your skis fall off, and you could see it, a line of the snow goes away where your skis are rolling by. I mean, obviously they come right back and they stick to your body when you get up, but it's like, it's fun, the sound effects of crunching through snow, and just how many, it's all a mountain, but there's like different-ish environments, right? So yeah, I really liked it, and it was a really good game to just sort of spend a lot of time in at your own pace. My one criticism for it, that comes to mind, is that I think it takes itself a little bit too seriously, because I'm not an avid skier. I just skied for the first time last year, but I really liked it, and so I don't know if people are like this, but it has these things called like mountain stories, where it depicts these people having like real like spiritual moments when they're riding. It's like, when I'm going down through this, it's like, wow, you could see the sunset come over the hills, and it's just the most beautiful thing. And I'm like, I'm playing a video game, dude. I'm riding up a cliff in my, like, with a parachute on. I don't care. I'm just getting this over so I can do a 1440 corkscrew and land on my head. All right, I get that some people like it's like, wow, this is like the coolest thing ever, when you're out here alone with nature, totally have all this time to yourself to think. I'm like, I'm playing a video game, okay?
Yeah, I'm here for escapism. I don't need to hear about how cold it is, you weirdo.
I'm here so I could put myself in a giant dinosaur outfit and ski down a hill. You think I care about connecting with the environment and nature? Probably not. Somebody out there might. It's not me though. So, but everything else is great, and so I liked it. And it has a lot. It has like a lastability to it, and because there are no other games like that, I don't think, or at least that I've encountered, it still has me going back to it. Month after month. I started playing it in June, maybe July, and I still pop it in here and there. I recently got the Olympics DLC, and that's pretty fun. I think it's really good for a single player game to be able to do that for me, because there have not been that many, I don't think. So yeah, excellent game. Steep. I almost said skate and steep. I said Scape. It's called Steep, and it's great. Check it out, please.
Well, if you put it like that, I guess I might have to. My number 7 is a game that we all picked up around the house because we have to have games that we play around the house. My number 7 is, I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it is Warhammer End of Times Vermintide.
Something like that.
It is, yeah. Mainly the only word we say is Vermintide.
Yeah, it's the most important word.
We just call it Vermintide. Vermintide is Left 4 Dead if instead of zombies, they're little rat people, and instead of all guns, you are all medieval warriors. You got the guy with the big hammer, and you got
or
blood.
sometimes a mace.
Or sometimes a mace. My favorite thing about the game is just mashing the attack button, watching that thing go all over the place.
Crushing dudes.
You could be Bloodborne. You could be the fire-throwing woman. You could be a
dwarf with a sword and a shield.
A dwarf with a sword and a shield. Or you could be a person who looks like a rat.
Yeah.
And everybody attacks because Carillion looks like a rat. From a distance, muted colors, and
hunched over, has got tatters on. She's a rat.
She looks like a rat. So, Matt always plays her, and we always attack Matt.
Yeah.
But there is no friendly fire, so... Oh, man, if there was, it'd be a mess.
Oh, God.
Bombs.
I always throw a bomb at my feet. It's like I'm getting swarmed, everybody's dying. No, it's great. We picked this up. We picked this up on a whim. It's unfortunately not on my list. It was almost on my list, but it was. No, it's super good. I mean, it's definitely one that I'm upset is not on my list, but it was such a surprise. We watched the trailer and we were like, "This is on sale. It's like a $30 to $40 game. It's on sale for $8.
Yeah,
whatever. Let's give it a try." And we were like, "This is amazing.
Yeah,
this is it." It surpassed everybody's expectations by so much.
And, it's amazing because in the same... And I know this is talking about another game, but we also got Killing Floor 2 this year.
Uh-huh.
And, that is zombies from Call of Duty if it wasn't bad. Like, if it was really fun and there was different stuff that didn't endlessly make the game not fun, as Call of Duty has made zombies into now. But... then we kind of got bored of it. Like, Vermintide has had a longer run with us.
Yeah.
Because it's so different, and it's not just, standard first-person shooter. This game is off-the-wall wacky and fun.
Yeah, you can tell it's obviously inspired by Left 4 Dead. Like, the special rats are all very similar. Well, most of them are.
Yeah.
But it's like... Left 4 Dead put a lot more effort into expanding its multiplayer, doing competitive stuff like that, whereas this one is like, let's just have more campaigns. You know? And I'm like, okay, yeah. So we've been playing it for like, what, a month and a half?
Yeah.
We still haven't reached the end of our campaigns, so...
Yeah, and I think we're only like 30% in, and it's still like, there's all this stuff to do. And yeah, you have your standard missions that suck, like carry a barrel over here. Don't let the barrel explode before you get it over here.
Don't let anybody hit the barrel in your hands while you're walking. Crawling speed.
Yeah, it's like, don't let anybody touch you, and then a swarm comes because you picked up the barrel.
Yeah. But it's created some really tense situations that we've somehow managed to get ourselves out of.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh my god, this game is so shit because we haven't gotten healing in like the entire mission, but we still made it to the end. Oh my god.
Yeah, there was one mission where it was just the brink for like a half hour. We're just like, everything is going poorly, but we're making it. We're just gonna keep making it. And of course, it was a carry a barrel to a boat mission.
Yeah.
And
like two people die outright. One person's down, gets picked up by the bot. And then they go and they save the other two people. It's like, oh my god, we can still do it. This level sucks.
Yeah, and that's the other good thing. It's like the difficulty. You think, okay, so I got this big-ass hammer, and I'm just going to swing around and sweep everybody off. No problem? No. There's a mission like we can't beat. Because
I don't know what's going on. There's so many of them. And we just keep getting, I don't know, split into twos, but it's like, it's another one of those bring the barrel missions.
It's a bring the barrel mission, and then a rat ogre shows up, and he's like,
everybody off
punches you, because, you're on rafters, he punches you off, and then you do the thing where you're just hanging.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
We'll never beat that, but it's still a lot of fun. I think it's good that there's like a co-op game that's not like, a serious like sit down and play it for like a couple hours, like a Borderlands type co-op game, but it's also not like a indie level. We'll play this for like minutes at a time at a party or something. It's a very nice in between that we've honestly been having issues trying to find.
Yeah.
So, great game. Excellent. Everybody, You should pick it up. Play it with your friends.
It's probably like $20. Apparently, there's a new one coming soon.
Vermintide 2 is coming out, I believe, early 2018. So we'll be looking into that if it is available on PS4. I assume it is, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it'll be great. Look out for next year.
Okay, so my number 7 is a wonderful little indie game called What Remains of Edith Finch. Have I told you about this game at all?
I've heard the name of it.
Okay, so do you remember Gone Home?
I do. You know what?
You want another one?
Another Gone Home, huh?
Yeah, it's not exactly Gone Home. The story is completely different, and it's absolutely wonderful. The story is so well written and so well portrayed. The idea is that, like Gone Home, you play a character that returns to an old abandoned house to see what happened. But this one is just so fucking sad.
Oh.
I took a class at a university called The Tragic Vision, where we talked about stories that were just rooted in this tragedy that all the protagonists or all the characters could not avoid, and we discussed what the root of it was, what the author, what point that the author was trying to make about that. This game's story was good enough to be in that class, to be examined at an upper level, because it's really, really, like I said before, well done. And some of the visuals, or how it decides to tell a story. There are so many people, and it tells each story differently and from maybe a different point of view, or I don't know. I played it once in one run through because it's hour to 2 hours. I watched Rowan as they played it, and we played it on 2 sessions across 2 days, but it was still a very short game. But it's super, super well done, and it's at its full price. I think, like Gone Home, its full price is $20. And so, how are you going to say you should buy this $20 game that's 2 hours long? Or maybe it's not even a game. Maybe it's just a visual experience or something like that. But it was so, I don't know. I think about it a lot, and I think there's a lot in it that's up front. There's a lot of hidden stuff in it, and there's a lot to be looked at with it. There are a lot of details in there, and I don't know. I really, really liked it, and so I know I saw it on a sale. So, at some point, I think you should be able to find it, because Rowan played it on PS4. Because if you play on Steam, you might have awful motion sickness issues, because there's no frame of view slider, which sucks. But I managed to make it through it. Rowan did not. They had to wait for the PS4 release, but you will be able to find it. And I obviously wholeheartedly recommend it if you're into that sort of thing. So.
Which I am.
Yeah.
Because, last year I had Gone Home, and everybody
got to the Rapture, yeah. Which I still have not played.
I get it. I'm not so mad. I understand that, it takes time, and who wants to play Gone Home for 5 hours? So, my number 6. So this summer, do you remember this summer when I told you that I was going to come down here and I was going to play a game?
You're going to play a mystery game.
I was going to play a mystery game.
Trapped in a maze.
I was trapped in a maze in a mystery game.
Yeah.
You see, that's not the mystery game.
What?
That was a game from the series of the mystery game. The idea is that we try and not say as many games to each other in the time of the year so that, at least we can be excited. Here's the thing. I played this game because of our 10 games we haven't talked about list. Because it's a game I've owned for a long time, and I finally decided to play it mainly because of that list, and it looked like fun. My number 6 is Max Payne 3.
Oh my god! I would have never guessed.
That's what's great. That's why this was a mystery.
Wait, so you played the first two?
I played the first one. And Max Payne Here's the thing. I was having trouble figuring out which one I liked for a while because they are pretty different considering that you're playing a PS2 game versus a PS3 game. It's like Max Payne 3 is you are constantly hiding behind cover because fuck the game's hard.
It's so fucking hard.
It's so hard. Max Payne 1 is like, alright, so the game's a little, you know, it's a PS2 game from like 2001. So everything is, you know, really fluid. So, like, enemies aren't really good, but you can, like, run around and jump, and it's a goofy time. And I thought it would be a competition until the maze. There's this scene where... Do you know anything about the original Max Payne?
I remember I watched a retrospective. It was a very long time ago, so I remember very little.
What happens is immediately your family is killed. That's how Max Payne 1 starts. The game gets separated into 3 different sections. I don't remember how to...
Acts?
Acts, yes. At the beginning of Acts 2 and 3, you're hallucinating that you might save your family. So you go into your house, which is a maze.
Oh my god.
And it hits this part where you go into darkness and you can only follow a small trail on the floor, and you have to get closer to the crying baby. So you're listening to a crying baby.
Oh my god.
As you continuously fall. And every time you fall, your wife makes this blood-curdling, awful scream. And it is one of the worst things I have ever seen in a video game.
Oh my god.
It was bad to play, bad to watch, bad to experience. I'm sorry. Max Payne 3 is a great game in which you're right, it's misery. It's
a bummer of a game.
It's watching a man just fuck up over and over and over again. He never gets better. He starts to get sober, but then, like, even that sucks, and it's
the BoJack Horseman of video game protagonists.
Without the fun.
yeah. Except all the jokes are layered in so much sarcasm and alcohol.
Oh, this game, you know, maybe you have your problems with Rockstar games and the way that they function. I thought this game controlled pretty well.
Yeah.
It's very fluid. In case, like, shit hits the fan, you could be like, well, now I'm gonna jump through the air with a shotgun and kill 2 people with 1 shot. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And then, at the same time, you'll stand behind a pillar and have to restart the same mission like 20 times in a row because you don't know how to get past it. They keep over-flanking you.
I'm trying to remember some of the spots that I got totally swamped at. I remember I was stuck at the stadium for a while.
The
stadium was
The stadium has 3 parts you get stuck at. Yeah. There's, like, one where, like, you know, you're in the concession area and you walk out and it's like you gotta be subtle. You can kill 2 guys subtly and then 15 come after you. They don't even care that you're standing behind a pillar. They're like, here I come, whatever. And then the instant you get outside, it's like...
in the seats?
In the seats.
Is a nightmare.
There's so many places where they can shoot you from. And then when you have to deal with snipers, this game is infuriatingly hard.
Yeah.
But not in a BioShock Infinite way where I hate everything. It's in a way where it's like, I almost had it, I can restart. And it loads so fast.
Yeah.
I love that it loads so fast because you will eat shit and then you can just load it right up and try again.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you liked it because I remember, you know, I was talking about, you know, it doesn't really get brought up that much.
Yeah.
And so it's a game that, you know, the last generation of, you know, games or game systems had the greats, and so the greats were very great, and so how are you going to make just a good game stand out? And it's like, it is also a great game. Yeah. It's not like a 10 out of 10 game.
Yes.
But it's like, it's still very good and very well delivered. It's enough to, you know, still be something that should be talked about, at least occasionally. Brought up every now and then. Yeah.
Like, everything about the game I really like. Like, the cutscenes where it deliberately accents, like, one word in text on the screen.
Very, very, strong aesthetic, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not. I can't think of another game or movie that really uses that tone and delivery.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some out there that come to mind.
That's true. So yes, very dark, fun experience. I would say it's the best Max Payne, but honestly, I might save 2 for next year. Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of good things about 2, especially in comparison to 1. I couldn't beat 1 because there's a part at the end, back in the 1, where you have to have some kind of grenade launcher, and I accidentally used it 1 mission prior.
Oh, God.
Because you walk upstairs, and there's a tripwire, and you can't see the tripwire without shooting it and it blowing you up. So you have to get it with an explosive. I didn't have any explosives because I went gun-ho 1 mission prior.
That's a questionable design choice.
So yeah, like you literally have to have something to blow it up. It's Mega Man 2 all over again, basically. Stupid bubbles on the end, like that makes sense.
Crash Man. Alright.
It's great. Great game.
Yeah, it is a great game. Alright, so my number 6 is Nier Automata. Ooh. Have you seen me play Nier?
I've seen you play Nier.
Do you know anything about it?
I don't know anything about it. But
okay, it's so I imagine like most people who played it, they'd be like, there was a first Nier? There was a game called Nier on the PS3.
Ooh.
It's not really related. I think it's thematically related, but not like characters or anything. I think there's one character that may cross over, but it was generally received as but it's become a cult classic, and I saw a recap video that explained what was going on with the story and what sort of themes they were going for, and I thought it was super impressive for a game that was just received as okay. So that was kind of a shame, but this one really knocked it out of the park, because its storytelling is great and its combat is good. Some people aren't a fan of it because it's either a lengthy hack and slash with the equivalent of a bullet sponge for swords. Like, it just seems like, you're just kind of dashing, spinning, doing a lot of stuff, but there's not really that much going on. It's just abusing the counter and dodge mechanics. And then the other part is a tiny little Geometry Wars minigame for every attack. And it's like, that might get tedious. And it kind of does. But it also has some, like, really good stuff to make it so that stuff's not boring. Like, it has a really good soundtrack, and every time you go into that minigame, it turns whatever song you're listening to at wherever it is in the song into an 8-bit version. Ooh. Like, seamlessly goes in and out. And the first time I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. Yeah. And it never gets old hearing that. And it's good because the soundtrack is, like, really well done. And the story's kind of obvious. But what's less obvious is how far the story goes, and I think it's less about the specific characters, or, like, I guess the main protagonist, or the face value story that's going on, and it's more so about the themes and ideas that it's talking about. And I think again, it does some really creative stuff, and it's one of those. Yeah, it makes me think of when everybody says how good, like, Metal Gear Solid was, because it does some weird off the wall stuff with its storytelling, with its gameplay. Since I've never played any of those, this is sort of what I imagine that's like, because it does have a lot of really good subversion, and it does have a lot of, like, really interesting characters and ideas, and it's like, if you just kind of look at it, you're like, wow, there's this sexy anime babe slashing people with the sword, and then there's zombie robots that are eating people. What is going on? What is the premise of this? And so, it takes a bit of time to realize what's going on, and, like, it's got some, like, obvious stuff. It's like, whoa, it's got these two crazy brothers that are, like, Lord of the Robots, and they're named Adam and Eve. But it's like, it's hard to say. It's like, but it did it on purpose, so it's cool. So it might be, you might be able to see some of this stuff as, like, pretentious, but I think it delivered a lot of stuff in a very satisfying and genuine way. So it doesn't feel like it's using it for any sort of cheap kicks. It has stuff to say when it uses these names. I don't know. It was a really good game. It's kind of long, but it has some really, really... I feel like an idiot saying this, and I've said it about certain games before, but it has these magical moments where you're just like, oh, that's really nice. You know, that's cool. They did that. Okay, I like it. But then it's also like, wow, it takes a long time to walk from anywhere to anywhere. So it's definitely got some slow parts, but I think the things that it does are so unique that it's you know, even with its just good combat, which is what you do a lot of the time, it still worked to spot a number 6 spot on my list. So I think I think a lot of people should play this because I think there's a lot to be said about this game. But yeah, I'm all about it. All about those AI robot stories and philosophies and I don't know. You know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Do you understand it?
Yeah.
Did I sell you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a busy guy. You know?
That's fair. It's not a short game. It's really not a short game, but it's worth it.
Okay.
Continued in part 2.